LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
Welcome to LIB TV, Future TV, and we're glad to be on here, Radio 95.9. It's a pleasure to be on tonight in your homes, on your gadgets, on social media, YouTube, Facebook. And look, I'm your regular host here on Thursday and Friday, the Reverend Dr. Clarence R. Pearson, but leave the Reverend outside because we're talking politics and there's no Reverend based in the inside. Liberian people, 11 o'clock, please check your doors, check your windows, and let us roll together and get good to your television. All right, so Jefferson and Lavera, I turn it over to you because I know Lavera's supposed to give us the news flash, right?
News update.
News update. Look, Lavera is all yours.
All right. Let me say a good evening to our viewers around the world. This is our latest new update from Liberia. Are you getting me clear?
Yeah, you clear, loud and clear.
Okay. Ex-President Salif urges legislature to lead constitutional reform calls for citizenship rights for non-Negroes in historic address. Former President Helen Johnson Sirleaf has called on the Liberian legislature to spearhead a new wave of constitutional reforms, urging lawmakers to amend what she described as a racist provision in the Constitution that restricts citizenship to persons of Negro descent. Delivering what observers described as a historic address to the House of Representatives, Sirleaf specifically referenced Article 27B of the 1986 Constitution, which states that only persons who are Negroes or of Negro descent shall qualify by birth or by naturalization to be citizens of Liberia. Sirleaf argued that the provision no longer reflects the realities of modern Liberia and should be amended to align the country with evolving democratic standards across Africa. My first comments have to do with Article 27 of our Constitution that says, and I quote, in order for us to preserve custom and maintain the positive Liberian culture, value, and character, only persons who are Negroes or of Negro descent shall qualify by birth or by naturalization to be citizens of Liberia, Sirleaf told lawmakers. Liberia will host a major national fisheries investment conference later this month aimed at attracting investment, expanding marine resource development, and positioning the country's fisheries sector as a key pillar of economic growth. The Director General of the Liberia Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, NAFA, J. Sarah Singh, announced Thursday at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing. Mr. Singh said the two-day conference scheduled for March 30 to 31 at the Farmington Hotel will convene international investors, development partners, policy makers, and fisheries experts to explore opportunities in Liberia's largely underdeveloped marine economy. Mr. Singh said Liberia's water contains substantial fish resources that remain unutilized. According to NAFA data, Liberia's marine ecosystem hosts an esteemed 254,000 metric tons of deep water biomix and 94,000 metric tons of surface water species, yet the country currently harvests only about 53,000 metric tons annually. Liberia Research and Development Networks bolsters police capacity with major equipment donation. The Liberia Research and Development Networks has donated a consignment of operational equipment to the Liberia National Police aimed at strengthening law enforcement capacity. The presentation ceremony was held at the LMP headquarters in Monrovia, where senior police officials formally received the items intended to enhance operational readiness and officer safety. The donated materials include sets of police uniforms, riot gear, holsters, duty belts, handcuffs, body armor, bags, jackets, and other essential field equipment. Hughes unveiled major aviation reforms target first ever international certification for Roberts International Airport by 2026. The managing director of the Liberia Airport Authority, Ernest R. Hughes, has outlined an ambitious modernization agenda aimed at transforming Liberia's main gateway into a regional aviation hub while elevating safety, security, and customer service standards. Speaking Tuesday regular press briefing in Monrovia, Hughes said the LAA is pursuing sweeping reforms to align Liberia's airports with international aviation standards and position Roberts International Airport RIA as a competitive gateway for West Africa. CBS Network coordinator calls for greater support for women on the Deputy Eva George has called for stronger solidarity and support for women across Liberia and around the world as the country joins the global celebration of International Women's Day 2026. In a special statement marking the occasion, Madam George praised the resilience and contributions of women, describing them as the backbone of families, communities, and peace building efforts. Women continue to hold families together, nurture communities, and contribute quietly but powerfully to peace and development. She said, noting that many of their sacrifices often go unrecognized. Madam George disclosed that women from CBS Network partner organizations will participate in the International Women's Day celebration organized by the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection and its partners. Kofa pushes back against jury disbandment in capital arson case. Former House Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa says he is prepared to face trial in the Capitol building arson case in any venue the court decides, expressing confidence that the evidence will ultimately clear him and his co-defendants. Kofa made the remarks Thursday, March 5, while speaking to journalists at the Supreme Court of Liberia following a hearing before Justice in Chambers Yusuf D. Kaba. The hearing focused on a writ of prohibition filed by Kofa and several co-defendants, challenging a decision by Roosevelt Zell Wiley, resident judge of Criminal Court A, to disband the jury in the high-profile arson trial. And residents of Grand Bassa District 3C seek return of alleged 12,000 United States dollars from Representative Flomo withdrawn from District Forest Fund. Residents of Electoral District 3 in Grand Bassa County are calling on their lawmaker, Representative Alfred H. Flomo, to return an alleged 12,000 United States dollars that community
Lavera, you still there? All right. It looks that we have some issues with our team in Monrovia, and so we'll just play some music while we wait for and see if she can get unfrozen.
Liberia, Liberia, Alex Cummings. Let's move forward on the streets of Monrovia to the counties far.
Hi, Gladys. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. Welcome to Liberia Feature Television.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here.
We are live. I know that our team in Liberia, Lovette, was giving us the news update, but it appears like she's frozen.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So while we are waiting her to come back on, and our team in Monrovia in studio, let me just have you to introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Gladys Clark Turkett. I live in Chicago, Illinois, and what should I say? I'm a Liberian by birth, and been in Chicago since 1985. What else you want to know about me? Amen.
I mean, that is okay. That is okay. That is enough. We can ask you to say more than you're willing to say. Until then, we'll say welcome to Liberia Feature Television. And we come on air every weekday on our social media network space. And at the same time, we broadcast in Monrovia on KR Radio, KR FM 95.9. So you are live not only within our social media space, but you are also live on our radio station, radio partners in Liberia on KR Radio. So you're welcome.
Thank you. I am really, really thankful for the invitation. My cousin Kathy Gibson, yeah, she told me about the station, and she connected me to you guys. So I'm grateful.
Good. So just quickly for those who are listening out there in Liberia on KR Radio, I know the team in Liberia is having some internet issue. As soon as the team comes back on, I think I will have one of my colleague. I see Lovette is trying to get back on. I'm hoping to see that she clears in the background in the lobby. Once she's clear and she's in full swing, I'll bring her back on. But again, you're welcome, Sis Gladys. Is it okay I call you Sis Gladys on the show tonight?
Sure. You can call me Sis Gladys.
Catherine, I see Catherine in the lobby. Catherine, I know you have admins, right? If you want to come on, you feel free to come on. If you just want to be in the background, that's okay also. But I would appreciate if you can contact studio, the guys in Monrovia, and see what's going on there while I'm on the show tonight. But again, we tonight I understand for the people in Liberia, we tonight will be discussing issues pertaining to what we call land rights in Liberia, but we also discuss the Millennium Corporation or the property of the Millennium Corporations and whatever they are doing in Liberia to help make life much more easier for people when it comes to owning property. Whatever challenges that they may be having in Liberia with that program and our project, I'm sure Sister Gladys is going to give us some insight on what is going on with that in that respect, right? So I want to say to our people in Liberia right now, it's about 11 o'clock in Liberia. Look, check your windows, check your doors. I know you are all in your homes right now. If you're in the streets, be careful. Be on the alert. Be sure to make sure that you have your eyes open. To not be robbed or anything. So, Gladys, if you don't mind, we will take a step-by-step approach to this conversation. We'll not be in a hurry, in Liberia, we got at least 2 hours to have this conversation. And we're on there. But now in Liberia, it's about 11 p.m., a little after 11 p.m. in Liberia. And we will be with them from 11 to 1 o'clock in the morning with them. And those who are up late will ride with us on this show tonight. So there are a couple of things we'll be looking at. Those of you who are following us by way of social media, whether you are on LinkedIn or YouTube or on Facebook, you will see the different talking points on the screen, on your television or on your phone, on your gadgets, on your devices. If you're listening by means of the radio, you will have us say out the whatever we project on the screen. We'll try to read it out to you. So tonight we will be looking at Liberia Land Rights Act, what is in it. We're just going to give a brief overview of what is in it, and then we'll move on. We'll also have a conversation around, land rights law in action. So, what can we say about the land laws rights in action? And then we'll move on. After that, we'll discuss, and last but not the least, the Millennium Construction properties in Liberia. What is it about? So, without any further delay, says Gladys.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to start off with you, but let me see if I can provide some background first. So, in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
Liberia passed the Land Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
We call it the LRA, not the Liberia Revenue Authority, but the Land Rights Act, and it was a landmark progressive reform that happened that legally recognizes customary land ownership for rural communities. It also granted equal protection for private lands. It clarifies land in terms of 4 types: private land, customary land, government land, and public land. And so we'll briefly use this time, since you joining us, to have a conversation around that as part of our discussion. So yeah, so tell me, what is it that you know and you want to contribute to the Liberian people today understanding on our land rights art in Liberia? Sister Gladys, if you're there, can you?
Well, I've been out of Liberia for a very long time, so I wouldn't really know all I wouldn't know the process in you really obtaining the land, but all I know is when you advertise and say that you have a company that's supposed to be in conjunction with the Liberian government, and you you promote that company to people out of Liberia, to the diaspora, the African diaspora, out of the country, to come home and to purchase property, purchase land, and have us, to have somewhere to stay. So in 2020, um, they had, there was some on YouTube, the Millennium
Yeah,
Construction Company. I mean, people were
right.
going to YouTube. They were advertising, showing the different places, regarding the Millennium Company. If you're interested, you should come. George Weah, that's what he was doing. They would show all these beautiful homes. And, I mean, I would go to YouTube. I would look at the promotions, and I would be like, is it really legit? Then one of my a friend of mine, he was,
Sister Gladys,
huh?
we'll come to that millennium stuff. But
Oh,
yeah, we'll come there. But I
oh,
remember I remember you mentioned that you don't have a lot of understanding on how land is
yeah,
acquired in Liberia,
I don't,
correct?
yeah, that's right. I don't understand the process in terms of how the land, your in terms of your rights, and how the people obtain their lands and stuff like that. Or
Okay.
so
So,
I
so before we get to that Millennium Challenge, Millennium Corporation or Millennium Property stuff, maybe like others like you who's listening to us in Liberia right now and within the diaspora may have similar need for understanding. Like you just mentioned, you don't have a lot of understanding in that area. But we'll get to that millennium stuff. But let me put it this way, right? And maybe you may not have all of the knowledge, but you can just speak to us how this entire 2018 Land Rights Act may sound to you to be important or not important, maybe by what you're going to hear from me. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay, that is okay.
Jefferson, thank you for coming in. We lost you off for a while there.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
and we lost Lavetta as well. The money finished.
It's no, we just had a trip in electricity, so that's why.
Oh, so we
Yeah,
back on air, right?
yeah, we're back.
Okay, my Labrador, pull your side. We're back with you now. All right, but thank you again, Jefferson. Says Gladys.
Yes.
So one of the things the Land Right Act does is that it gives recognition to customary land. So in Liberia, customary lands. Uh, um, I will talk when my mother comes back home. Customary lands used to have issues with being deeded. So in the past, our traditional people had lands, but they didn't have physical deed to give proof of their lands. So there were a lot of challenges around ownership and claims around the land. So this Land Right Act was able to give some legal and also help to codify the status to land that was held by indigenous communities through tradition, allowing them to define, survey, and secure deeds for their land. And so that was one of the benefits. That is one of the benefits of the Land Rights Act, which is very good for the Liberian people and for our country, as opposed to not having anything at all initially. So, Jefferson, since you're here with me, I know you're very opinionated. So, and you might be able to give us some opinion on this. What do you make of the fact that our people, the indigenous people, at least by the Land Rights Act, are able to properly survey, own, codify, and deed their lands? What do you make of that? Is that a good thing for us or not? Our people are listening.
Well, the issue of land in our country, land dispute, like we continue to say, is skyrocketing. Yeah, there's a whole lot that is needed to be done, so that we don't have these, occurring situation. There needs to be a policy reform. There needs to be the land rights acts need to be revisited, so that we also that the country cannot plunge into uh unforeseen circumstances like chaos. Because the issue of I listened to uh Monserrato County District 3 representative when he had this whole proposal on the land issue, and he made some salient points. I don't know if you will mind that perhaps I play it, then we listen to what he said regarding the land issue in this country, land disputes, and I don't know whether that is acceptable on the show.
Sure. But I just want to make sure to say that we have no copyright to that clip you're about to play,
Yeah,
and it is on Pure Radio.
yeah, it is.
That's
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
You
So
can
he had a press conference. Let me just play it quickly so that the Liberian people can listen to what Representative Simone Moba had to say regarding this land issue.
Industrial relationship between employer and employee, and bring Liberia labor standard in line with International Labor Organization Convention. So we are saying to our people, this is what we have to offer. And the House of Representatives did extremely well. All
This
73 lawmakers supported this bill.
this is the wrong clip. Let me get the rightful one shortly. Yeah, yeah, that's the wrong clip.
you good. Why you getting it?
Yeah.
Catherine, you want to weigh in?
I am back. Oh,
No problem, man. Welcome back. Catherine, you
thank
want to
you.
weigh in?
Yeah, the Land Rights Act, Liberia's Land Rights Act, it sounds good, but it's very hard for people to know who owns land in Liberia. Um, in the US, everything is on the computer. You go in, you can search and see who owns what property. And so there's less confusion about who owns which property, and people can't be reselling property because once you go into your local deed office, you can tell exactly who owns the property. And that's why Mr. Cummings said we're going to use technology to bring computers and train people to scan all of these deeds. So there's less confusion about who owns the property and less fraud. Because what's happening is people don't know who owns the property. They think they know. Somebody gives them a deed and they resell the property. It's very, very confusing and causes a lot of fraud. So our hope is that we can get all of these deeds scanned. People can search. People can find out, oh, John Brown owns this property, sold it to Sally. Sally sold it to this person. This person is selling it to me. Um, and then the other problem is at some point you have to pass a law about adverse possession, because you can't be coming back 30, 40, 50 years and saying you own property. At some point, it should be 20 years. You got 20 years to challenge the person who is on your property. But after 20 years, you should not be able to come back and say, this is my property. Because you know very well for the last 20 years, you've been seeing this person sitting on this property that you said belongs to you. You haven't done anything about it. You know, and that's the reason why so many people are getting kicked out of property now, because people are coming back after 30 years saying they own this property.
Right. So that's the implementation aspect. But you can admit that at least we have a law in place, because this law does address conflicting issues with lands in Liberia. So can we agree that at least we have a law in place to begin with, as compared to when it comes down to implementation, that's a whole different thing.
Yes.
Okay, Jefferson, can you play that clip you're talking about?
It's like it's been taken down. I can't get it. I had it earlier. I played it this afternoon, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah.
Okay,
But
no problem. You
yeah.
good. Man, Gladys, this is where we are, right? We're trying to acknowledge if at all having a land rights act that we have since 2018. We know there are going to be issues with implementation. We discussed that, but the fact that we do have that law, we believe. I would say, can we agree that it is a good start? Because what the law does is that, first of all, it helps the indigenous people. We call them the native people in the villages, the rural areas, who used to have traditional lands, but did not have a deed for their lands. The Land Right Act through the Land Authority provided them the opportunity to be able to codify their deeds or their lands, survey it, probate it, and get themselves a deed. Another thing it did is that it divided the whole land issues in Liberia into 4 categories, right? So we have what we call the private land, the customary land, the government land, and the public land. It doesn't only stop there. The law went as far as giving women and youth some legal stipulations in the law, that requires that there should be community management bodies, right, to help to ensure that the way we used to have concessionaires come in the country and just government just give lands, to concessionaires and investors without consulting with the people. The law tried to prohibit that and say, listen, there has to be a community-based approach where a community management team can sit and have a conversation with investors coming in the community. What do you want to do? Oil palm? You want to do cocoa, coffee? Whatever you want to do, have a communication with the owners of the land. Don't just grab it because you have power to do so. And then they also talk about limitations to land ownership. Only Liberian citizens own land, and foreign nationals are restricted from owning freehold titles. And today, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was making an argument all over Liberia is a talking point now that, let us lift that part of the Constitution, the 1986 Constitution that says in Article 27 B that says only people of Negro descent can get citizenship in Liberia, right? Naturalized citizenship, which comes right off the back of Article 27A that says only Liberians can own land. So it kind of like try to protect the lands of our country. Madam Sally is saying, look, let's lift it up to encourage people to have a diversified citizenship in the country that will bring opportunities maybe through other nationals, people with other color than Negroes. So
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree.
yeah, we can discuss that. So my point now is the law good? Let's discuss let's discuss is this a good law to begin with? And if you have one with the law, let me know what your differences are. Let me start with Madam Gladys first.
Well, I mean, if the law is good, all depends on what the people of Liberia or who making the law, if they were to enforce the law. Okay, now an example, my brother gave me a lot. I have the deed. Okay, he gave me a lot. I have the deed. And the lot is right behind the former president house. Open we are. Matter of fact, he and I are supposed to be sharing, I'm in the back of him. When he became president, he did, in order for the people not to get to his property, he put a fence around it. So that included my lot. So I couldn't get, access to the lot. So when I went back to Liberia, I couldn't go to get the lot, but I have the deed. So according to the law, because when you go to court and you have the owner's deed, you are the one who own the land. I don't know if that law is the same law where when you have the owner's deed, you own the land. I really don't know, because I think my brother, he had a property, and when they went to court on it, he brought his deed, and because he had the owner's deed, so he was able to get his land, and he was able to get his property. The same thing with my other brother who passed away. His property, the Dunbars and the Coopers, they were trying to get that property also, but being that everybody knew that he that was his land. Okay, I had to really fight in order for us to get that land back. For us to be able to have the land, is prime property right on the road. Okay, so my thing is, if this law, I don't know what the law says now. I haven't read the law. I'm not a real estate lawyer. I haven't read the law, but maybe after the show I can go and and see if I can get a copy of it. I don't know if you guys got a copy, or you can send it to me or text it to me where I can read the law, and then I will be able to maybe say more about it. But I'm just saying that the same indigenous people,
Thank you.
the same indigenous people who sold the land kept on selling the land over and over and over to other people. So, Chief, I'm just saying something. Chief Flomo will sell me a land. Okay, let's say he will sell it to me. He sold me the land in 1985. Then he will take that same land and he will sell it to Kathy. Then he would take the same land, he will sell it to you. Now you got three of us fighting over a piece of land that has been sold by the same person. So like I said, I really don't know what the law entails, but they need to stop that. They need to stop. If you're gonna sell the land to one person, then sell the land to the person. Now, if the person passes away or something like that, and they don't have like a person to like a child or heir to the land, then maybe, I don't know, you probably can take your land back and then you can sell the land. But I think that the indigenous people, once they sell the land, they shouldn't be selling the land to other people, having two, three. That's where the conflict come. Then I come in now, I come in thinking I got land, then I come in to come for you for land. That's not right.
Okay. So yes, in Liberia, I think as it stands, and Jefferson can correct me if I'm wrong, because we always get cases in the coast there. The oldest D always win. Jefferson, you can come in.
Yeah, certainly. I think that and it is still happening here. Once you have the ODSD, it means you are the legitimate owner of the land. That is still happening in Liberia.
Catherine, tell us your disagreement with some of the things that I said earlier.
I disagree with the former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, saying that we should change the constitution to allow people that are not of Negro descent to own land in Liberia, because Liberians are already spectators in their own country. When I go to any store in Liberia to stop and shop, or any other stores, Lebanese people are running the store and Liberians are just working in the store. But who is controlling the money? Who does all the money transaction? It's the Lebanese people in the store. Foreigners are running the business of Liberia. So that tells me that they're not enforcing the Liberianization policies, the laws they have on the books to protect Liberians in their own country running certain industries. So if you make it easier, it's going to even be worse for Liberians as far as getting jobs and running businesses in Liberia. So I don't know where that came from, what prompted that, but I think Liberians should be given the opportunity and the chance to run businesses in their own country. And that's why on Monday, I love the ideas Mr. Cummings brought, where he said he will give loans to Liberians to run their own businesses. He will give micro loans to the market women to be able to expand their businesses. And so the business sector, I think, is a problem in Liberia for Liberians already. So I don't agree with that at all. I don't know where it came from, but I would have hoped that she would, instead of advocating for foreigners, that she would advocate for Liberians.
Just to level the playing field and to be fair to her in one way or the other, she did outline. I heard from the news, our news update. She also did outline a remark that she wanted the Liberian nationalization policy, and what that is, that there are certain businesses that are cut out for Liberians only and should not be done by foreigners, right? But again, we're not even obeying that in many ways. You go to, like you see, you go to somebody's shops and stores, you see Lebanese, Chinese people, they want behind the desk counting the money, and the Liberian children just sweeping, or they walking in the store, in the shop, telling, looking at whether they will steal something or not, or to go and bring something from the counter and bring us out for the customer. Mm-hmm. So they are not really a part of the economy, so to speak. So you have a very good point there. And again, I want to just stress something else, and I'll go over to Jefferson. We're not discussing anything new here. Like those who are listening to us on the radio in Liberia or by way of social media, on the television, wherever, this is not something new in Africa. If you look at Southern Africa after the apartheid regime, right, the land ownership was in the hands of the minority, like we call it the Afrikaner, right, the light-skinned and people that in Zimbabwe and even in South Africa up to the day, they are still struggling to get the lands from the minority so that the local people, the local African people, can have access and equal access to land rights, to land ownership. And when you look at it, it's not that the local people, some of them don't have money, but the land is being held hostage because the others are powerful, right? And to take that away from them became a very serious issue. Zimbabwe trying, it was a big problem, even though they succeeded in getting it done. South Africa is trying, it is a big problem for South Africa today, even with United States President what is his name, Donald Trump, is going neck to neck with the president Ramaphosa of South Africa today, to the extent that some white South Africans are leaving on asylum to the U.S., claiming that they are being prosecuted and by taking the lands away from them. So these are very, very crucial issues that we have to be very careful with when you tie into our local people who now you go to court, the person with more money take the land. You know, I
That's
heard,
the problem.
right. I heard someone saying on a talk show today that there are people now who surveying land in darkness and geo mapping the land and going to probate the land and backdate the deed, and then just take it to court and then they put some money behind it, and then Gladys don't have a land no more.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it is. It is really crazy. And like, I don't mean to cut you off too. Like, Kathy was saying also that what's going on now. If you allow the foreign, when I was in Liberia, if you allow the Lebanese people, the foreigners to come and take the land, because they control really the economy. They really control it. When I was in Liberia and I went to a store to buy a television, I mean, his customer service was terrible. You know, I mean, I, as a Liberian, the way he was talking to me, I was like, really? Do I want to spend my money over here? Is there a Liberian store that I can go to purchase the television? Because where else can you go? Every store you go to, either it's controlled by a Lebanese person or Indian person or probably a Chinese person, which is not fair to the Liberian people. I think, um, they should give the Liberian people a chance. They haven't really give them any chance for them to be able. Matter of fact, they haven't educated our people since the war, when it comes to finance, come to economics. I think that should be like a number one priority over there, where they need to educate the Liberian people when it comes to economics, and when it comes to finance, money management, businesses, small businesses or large businesses, corporation, whatever. Liberian people need to be educated. We always allow other people to come and take over.
Thank you. So I would just say, if you're listening to us in Liberia, wherever you are in Liberia, you're listening to LIB Future TV, and we're live on Kia Radio in partnership with Kia Radio 95.9. We want you to, if you're on social media, please share the broadcast and tell your friends about this new radio station and this new television station that is making headways right now to get a conversation moving. And we are here to tell you more about what is going on in Liberia. Let us all be a part of the conversation. So now we're talking about Liberia lands rights, and we're talking about how is it being implemented, and then we'll go down to the Millennium Corporation properties in Liberia and some of the issues that people are having with it. But before I come back to Jefferson, let me just roll this clip a little bit. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
Coming there, what are you hearing about the issues that has to do with people surveying land and backdating the deed in Liberia?
Yeah. So me?
Yeah.
So one of the callers who called last evening mentioned that lands in Liberia are being surveyed over the night. And you see surveyors coming into the communities at nighttime to carry out survey, and then the next time you see somebody is coming to claim the property, that they they are the ones who own the land. But before I have a write up here that Representative Small, after session outside, he had something to say. He spoke to the media. But before that, just what
Went off.
I guess he's having some internet issues there. Catherine, maybe I can go to you.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, again, we're trying to put Liberia into the future. We need to bring Liberia forward. Um, when you are buying property, you're supposed to be able to go to the land authority. You should have a land authority in every county. In fact, not just Monrovia. You should have one in Grand Jita, in Bomi, Grand Cape Mount, and it should have scan in all the deeds. So before you go buy, you can go check and make sure you find out who owns the property. Then when you buy your property, you take it, probate it, and it be recorded so that anyone can see you own that property. It also helps with collecting taxes because right now in Liberia, it's like voluntary to pay your tax almost. You go to the tax office, pay your taxes. Nobody is coming after you saying you didn't pay your taxes, you didn't pay your taxes. So it will increase the tax revenue as well when you have to publicly record your deed on a public record. And that will cut down on a lot of the fraud that you see, the backdating of deeds and all of that shouldn't happen. And that's another thing that Mr. Cummings said. We have to stop the corruption in the courts. You have to stop all of the corruption in the courts because people who are just paying in order to win the case, that's going to create a lot of tension in the country, and it could create violence in the country. You can almost see it now. I mean, they're breaking down homes. People are becoming homeless. At some point, people are going to start fighting back and saying this is not good. Enough is enough. So I don't agree with how they're going about enforcing these laws as well. Dr. Pearson is heartless. Like Mr. Cummings said on Monday, you have to go to the people and talk to them and say, we know this is not your property. There's going to be a demolition coming. Do you have somewhere to stay? Do you have family? Do you know somebody? A lot of the people who had become homeless, they had just paid their rent for the year. So if you were timing it right, people pay rent by the year. So you will come to them in 2024 or 2025 and say, by 2026, do not pay any more rent. Right. Because we're going to be here at the end of the year. By the end of the year, you should be looking for somewhere else to go. But they waited until the beginning of the year when people had just paid their rent for the year. And then they just come in and knock the rental place over. Then they don't have any money for their rent, So if you go to people and say, look, in 2026, we are going to start doing demolition. You need to start looking for somewhere. That would let a lot of the renters find somewhere else to go without completely being homeless. For the people that have property there, do you have somewhere to go? Do you know anybody? If not, you should have some kind of temporary setup for some people, especially the disabled, the blind, the pregnant. Have a temporary housing. Give them 30 days or 60 days, at least, to find somewhere else to go so they're not sleeping in a mattress. Because some people are sleeping in mattresses on the street right now or sleeping in cars. So the way they're doing it is heartless. Is heartless. I mean, they can figure out how to do it in a way where people are not being rendered homeless, going deeper and deeper into poverty. And they're supposed to be the government. They're supposed to be lifting people out of poverty, not adding people to the homeless the poverty, the drugs, the hopelessness, that we're seeing in Liberia.
Thank you. It reminds me of what Mr. Cummings said, like you said the other day, he said, look, there is a fact that if the law is being implemented, that if you own someone's property, like the sis Gladys was saying, if she has a property and you go and build on a property and she went to court and you can prove it's a property, yeah, you can be removed, right? If you be in the alleyways, you be in the different areas that government has work to be done there, yeah, you can be removed. But he says it should be done with some level of dignity. Like how do you, the way you do it matters, right? It's not that you cannot do it, but the way in which you go about it matters. How can you do it in a way that the people are not made further vulnerable in the current vulnerable state already? But again, it goes to multi-layers of implementation of the law, right? So how would we provide education for the people, right? So we have the Land Rights Act, but how well are we communicating and educating the people about these rights, right? Not only that, but is the execution of this right being properly done? I know we do have the strategic plan for the land authority, all right, to support this act. We have a strategic plan that they got currently from 2025 to 2029, all right, and they also configured it in there, or they are placing there the possibility to do digital transformation of the entire archiving of our deeds. So I think that one of the things you referenced, Catherine, that if we can digitize the archiving of our deed, and we are able to track it that way, it's easier to track and to catch any form of fraud before it happened, right? So say,
Right.
yeah, so say you went to maybe you went to the probate court to probate your, let's say you went to the Liberian Land Authority to research the land that you're trying to purchase, all right, and then to put it through the archives, the digital archive. Of course, it can cross-reference, that this particular geopolitical mapping that is being presented here it has already been sold out to someone else, right?
Right.
And then says Gladys land is protected. But now, as it is, like you mentioned, as it is, if I went to the land commission or the land authority, they are depending on a physical archive with hard papers, with thousands and thousands and thousands of lands. That someone said, I mean, I got the patience to go look through all the paperwork. Just give me something, and I will just sign the and you go probate it, right? And then you get to the probate court. The probate judge himself and his attendants, who in his office don't even have the patience to go sit in an archive with thousands and thousands and thousands of documents to go find a deed that will correspond with your own deed that you're going to buy a land. So, just give me a little thing there. That means the judge just signed it in, so you, so you can go home, right? But, I'm kind of laughing, but these are serious problems, and this is where leadership comes in, right? This is where you need someone that our next president in waiting, Mr. Alexander Cummings, who can tell you, look, you can't keep doing that same old thing the way you did in 1926 and expect it to work today. It's not going to work, correct? So yeah, Jefferson Cummings, you went off for a bit.
Yeah, so it's LEC. We apologize, but however, just like you're saying, my brother is in the US there, so he has a property in Broadville, and so while I was here at work, there were two attempts made. They have the Tundo's family there, Isaac Tundo, who once played for Lone Star. So the
Right.
family they own Jack Tundo town there. So one of the brothers attempted selling my brother's property while I was at work here. And
Wow.
so yes, there was this the first person was this Fuller guy who he just moving around with cash in his bag. So everywhere he goes, once he sees a vacant land, he wants to buy. So he attempted selling the land, somebody intercepted, and then he called. I didn't go. The second time there was this lady again. He took the same guy took the lady. In fact, this time around, he went it's a whole acre of land. So in the middle of the land, this Tondo took a fake cornerstone, planted in the middle of the land, and then where we have our elbow cornerstone, planted another one there. So he had divided the land into two. When I got there, I didn't meet him, but I waited. So here's the funny part. While I waited for almost an hour, then he had already, because a lady had intercepted and told him, so he got mad at the woman, at the lady, that when I come to do my business, my transactions, you always, disrupting it. You always causing problem for me. So he took the people to another part, all the way beyond the Nasco village estate there in Broadview. Almost handing, the lady was handing the money over to him, when the owner, who is a church member of mine, the Baptist church, and then got there. Nearly, he was about to take the money from the lady, and the guy got on the scene that, this is my land. Why are you taking money from somebody? And so he left. While I was waiting now, he came back with 2 motorbikes, and the lady and this other guy on bike. Now here's the thing. So when the lady said, "Oh, there he is," so I said, "Excuse me, brother, can you stop?" He did not stop. He told the motorcyclist to pull up, and they pulled up. So the lady who came to buy the land, 2 of them, she and the other guy, they stopped. And then she started to narrate to me that, oh yes, the man came to sell. He said this land for him. And in fact, the owner of the land, he had given the person another one in Duazon, Margibi County. I said, what? This is my property. My brother is in the US. This belongs to us. He said, oh yes. But in fact, he had already showed us the cornerstone, and we're about to buy it. I said, but it was good that he didn't buy, because if you had bought this land, your money would have gone in vain. So that is just the case here in Liberia. Those who have properties here, once you don't have people taking care, there will be one property or parcel of land sold to more than 3 persons. So once the person has built on it, all you have to do, either you rebuy, or they give you a swamp land that you are just forced to accept, because even if you go to court, it's going to be very difficult for you to win that case. But this is what Representative Small, had to say. He said, Monserrato County District 3 Representative Small Moba has outlined a series of policy recommendations aimed at addressing Liberia's long-standing land disputes, emphasizing the need for digital reforms, improved transparency, and stronger institutional collaboration. Moba made the recommendations after attending a House of Representatives plenary hearing Tuesday, where officials from the Liberia Land Authority, the General Services Agency, and other stakeholders discussed persistent challenges such as dual land titles, land purchases, and widespread fraud within the country's land administration system. The discussions also highlighted frustration among some lawmakers over what they see as limited progress by government institutions in tackling systemic weaknesses that enable land fraud. In response, Moba urged a coordinated approach among the executive, legislative, and judiciary branches, warning that blame shifting among government institutions undermines efforts to resolve land disputes. He stressed that collaboration across all sectors of government is essential to address the structural problems that continue to fuel conflicts over land ownership. A central recommendation from the lawmaker is the full implementation of the National Land Information System, a digital platform that will modernize Liberia's land registry through the scanning, indexing, and electronic management of land records. The proposed system will incorporate a computerized land registration process capable of preventing the issuance of multiple titles for the same property by automatically rejecting duplicate registrations based on geographic coordinates. He also advocated integrating blockchain technology into the National Land Registry to create a transparent and tamper-resistant record of land transactions. The digital ledger will allow prospective buyers to verify ownership records in real time and help ensure that sellers possess legitimate titles before completing property sales. Additionally, his recommendations include the introduction of escrow accounts for land transactions to protect buyers from fraud, the establishment of customary land secretariats to help traditional communities maintain accurate land records, stricter regulation of surveyors through county-based assignments and identification systems, and the adoption of an alphanumeric coding structure by probate codes to align archive deeds with the digital land registry. So that's what the lawmaker has proposed, and that's what he wants, a whole reform of the the land, the whole land, so that we can have fraud, lands be sold to more than one person.
That's true.
Well, that Jefferson, we are a great journalist and analyst, making that presentation of what one of our lawmakers is recommending. I know it's around 12 a.m. in Liberia right now. We've hit the 1 hour mark. When we come back after this short break, we'll be discussing the Millennium Corporation and their properties. that way Sister Gladys want to get into right now. But we'll be right back after this short break. Thank you again. Welcome to Liberia Feature Television. And we are live on Kia Radio in Liberia, FM 95.9.
Hey, Liberia, stand up. Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song.
Welcome back. So we're going to the Millennium Corporation properties in Liberia. So Gladys, this second part of the show, I'm going to be depending on you to bring this home as to what are the issues and what are the concerns that you think we should be aware of on this whole thing about the Millennium Corporation and properties in Liberia.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so happy to be on this show and to be able to speak for for the people, on behalf of the people at Millennium in Liberia. I'm a victim of what happened over there. When I started before, in 2020, I went on YouTube and I saw them advertising the houses at the Millennium in Marshall, there, Mangibi territory, and I saw it. It really looked nice, and I was like, "Oh my God, this would be, good for, us who want to come home and don't have anywhere to stay. We can go ahead and purchase a place over there, and at least you will have your place already built. When you get there, they give you your key. That would be nice." So we started telling other people here. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. A friend of mine, they decided that they were going to go ahead and purchase. So they went ahead and they purchased a unit from over there. The Sankos, he and his brother, and they came in and they encouraged me. They said, "Gladys, you need to, look into it." So I sent my late sister, who my girlfriend Joyce Lee Brown. I sent her over there, and she saw the place, and she came back to me. She said, "Yes, it's legit. I'm telling you, go ahead and purchase." So my brother and we decided to purchase a place over there, and we did. We gave them a total of, it was three of us, my brother, my sister-in-law, and myself. We gave them a total of 70, because it was sold to us 26,500 each. So we gave them, let me see. Let me do my math.
Yeah. Why you calculating that map? Just for the benefit of our audience. So
Yeah.
the Millennium Construction Incorporated in Liberia, what they do is that they build property.
Yes.
And then people come and buy the property from them. So you don't have to go and try to build from scratch, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And I guess the argument was, a lot of the time people in the diaspora would send money to family members and to friends to build for them. And
Yes.
they will not build exactly what they want, or they may take their money and don't do nothing at all. So this was supposed to be an opportunity now to help solve that problem.
Yes. Yes. Yes, what happened was they would tell you they would tell you either you pay down or down you would have to pay all the money, or you can get on a payment plan, you know, for in order for them to be able to build your unit. Okay, and that's what they were doing. So most of the people, when you go there, you would go to their office, you would sit with them, they would tell you, oh, we having a discount. So certain people would go, they would sell the duplexes for like 32,000 for one duplex, 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, dining room, living room, and kitchen. Okay, that's what it was they would do. Certain people they would sell 32,000. Then other people they would tell them, oh, you came late, so we give it to you for 48,000. So I was one of those who bought my property earlier. So they sold mine to me for 26,500. I have all the receipts. Okay, so we had 3 units. We paid $79,500 for those 3 units. When I went, that was October. I purchased October of 2021. They told me that the property was going to be ready in 2022. Then my sister, she went there. She said, "Oh, they're working on it. By the time you come in, the property will be ready. We'll be able to give you your deed and your keys." I said, "Okay." So 2023 now, I went to Liberia, December of 2023. I went over there, and they took me to the property. When they took me to the property, I thought the property was, they had completed the property, but they had not completed the property. They only showed me two. One house, both of them were adjacent, and they told me that, you know, that was it. By the time I come back in April, it would be completed. 2024 of yeah, 20 April 2024. They will have the duplexes ready. So I asked them for the other property. The lady who was working with Mr. Mohammed, her name Michelle. She took me to the property for my sister in law. She took me to the property, but they had not even carried that property up the roof level yet. They just had it. They had it like halfway. And when I asked her, I said, "But the property is supposed to the building's supposed to be completed." She said, "Oh no, we still working on it. When you come back in June, we have it completed." So June 2024 went to December 2024. And then we started hearing that, that they were not going to complete the property, and that Mr. Mohammed had left. They had put, they had taken him to court. And the only thing we need to do is to complete our property. But thank God I knew, because when I went, I knew where my property was. So I was able to 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 get my property. But the other property, the last one now, that's the one I know where it is, but it's not completed. It's just standing there. Okay. And now we have to finish. We have to complete the property. We don't have, some of us don't have any deed for the property because there's so much going on. So it's just so sad that you give all this money, to this construction company that's supposed to be working in conjunction with National Housing Authority, and you come to find out that you have lost your money. So now the property that you got to pay extra money to complete the property.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. So just hold on there for a second. Thank you for sharing. Jefferson, you are in Liberia there, and I know you have idea on this. So you come in if you have questions, no problem. But if you want to clarify some things, no problem. Also, Catherine, do you have any question for Sis Gladys? Some of the things you've heard. Is there anything ringing some bell in your mind that you maybe have a question or you want to ask her?
Yeah, so I heard I heard you say that you had to finish the property. How
Yeah.
far had they gone with it? And
Well,
what were they supposed to finish for you?
they were supposed to complete the whole property, Kathy. The property was supposed to be the only thing they were supposed to do was give me my keys. So that was in the contract. I have the contract here, you know. So when he told me that April of 2024 the property was going to be completed, you know, then my Joycelyn, by that time I had to come back to the States. So Joycelyn was supposed to go there and, you know, receive the key and the deed. Unfortunately, Joycelyn passed away in March. When I left Liberia, I left in February. As soon as I left, 2 weeks later, she passed away.
Hmm.
So I had to thank God my brother, he lives there. I had to find somebody to take my brother to the property. And now my brother, the one now since he's there, we're working on the property. So far, we had taken it to they had roofed the house, but there was no windows, no doors, there's no fence around it. I mean nothing. So now we're completing the property. So far, we have put the fence around the house. We have put the window bars in. Those he working inside because it's rainy season now. So he trying to do the electrical work. We had to dig a well in the yard. He's doing the electrical work, and he's trying his best to do the plumbing.
Hmm.
But it costs money. Can you imagine? You have pay all that money to to the people, and now you can't get any of your money back. So you got to look for extra money to complete the house because when you go home, where will you stay? I mean, when I go home, where will I stay? You know.
Thank you. I got a friend in Liberia with similar problem, but the question I want to just ask is the land in any way in dispute?
Well, according to what they're saying, that I really don't know. They say that the land is owned by the, I think, Dwason people or whatever the Basso people are. I really don't know, and they had given the property over to the government, you know, for the barracks for the military to use.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's, but I really,
Mhm.
we have people on the ground who working on it. I mean, trying to figure out what's going on. But there were some people who went ahead and got their deeds, I guess, from the Dawson people, you know. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay another what $4,000 $6,000 just to get deed when I already paid it to this Muhammad man. So Muhammad need to be accountable.
Right.
That's the same thing we're talking about. Foreigners. This man from, I don't know whether he's from Ghana or Nigeria. You know, he came. He had his construction company working along with the Liberian government. You know, and he did all of this to us. So how can we make him accountable?
Right, right. So that's what I'm thinking, because if he acquired the property and building on it to sell, which means the land was already purchased from the community owners, right? So I don't see the argument there. If it is the property opposite the BTC barrack there, the BN Cassidy barracks, if those are the properties across there, then I can see around where they get a military hospital in the same on the same side the military hospital. Then I can see probably maybe the AFL might be, the Embassy of Liberia might be making the claims as well to that property, not just the 1,000 people. But that's a whole Rickman rule all by itself. Another thing I want to ask you, I'm aware of that the Liberian Housing Authority, like you mentioned, is a part of that entire process, because the Millennium Construction company did work in collaboration with that body. So did your contract you say you have, is there any signature on it from the Liberia Housing Authority?
Um, the contract that we have, no, we don't. There's no signature on it for the Liberia Housing Authority, but in the contract, it does include the language. It does include Liberia National Housing Authority.
Okay. Another
In
question. Another question I want to ask: even if it did not include a signature from the Liberia, from the government, which is Liberian Housing Authority, was there any addendum, which is an additional document attached to it to give clearance that this entire deal was clear by the Liberian Housing Authority?
Oh no, the only thing they gave us was the contract.
Oh Lord.
And then was the contract that they gave us. And then when we had a meeting, the lady who was at the time, the lady who was just hold on 1 second.
Yeah. I'm asking her these questions because these are the technical details that comes into this kind of thing. For example, another thing I would just a follow up to that question, I'll just ask you: was this whole transaction of your contract done by a law firm? Did you use your lawyers or your lawyer?
Oh, you know what? So far, we're working on. They're getting it together. They're working on that. We have.
No, I mean, was your lawyer involved in the?
No, no, we're not. I'm not working. We're not doing it individually. We're working together as a team. All of us who purchase place over there, we're working together as a team, not
before you
individually.
purchased or after you got robbed?
Huh?
Before you purchased or after you got robbed?
After we got robbed, yes, we put a team together.
So before you purchased, was your lawyer involved in the process?
No, we didn't have a lawyer. No.
Oh, okay. All right. No, we have to have the conversation because people listening to us will learn from our conversation, right?
Okay.
And then maybe tomorrow we have to go through the same thing too. They will be very careful to say, you know what happened? Let me get my lawyer. Or you know what happened, Mr. Business Owner, let me see your sectoral clearance. Let me see that the Liberian Housing Authority has cleared this property to be sold. Because even the land where you want to buy in Liberia, that land you got to go to the Liberian Land Authority. The Liberian Land Authority got to investigate the understand the model deed, organ deed, or the transfer deed, whatever deed you're using to justify the sale. They have to investigate the deal before you even sell the land. So I would think in the same way, if you want to sell me a whole property or a whole building you're talking about, you want to sell me, I will want to get a clearance from the out of the housing authority or the land authority. Jefferson, you want to come in for a second before we hit the halfway mark?
Yeah, so just short remark. Now, what is more important now is that the best thing you can do to purchase a land, to know that the land you're about to buy or the property is legit, is you have to go to the court. Just go to the court, and the court will be the one to tell you that, oh yes, this property you can go ahead and buy, or do not buy this property because it belongs to XYZ. That is the best way now. And people are learning. There are some people who are learning from that now, that will have to go to the court before they buy any property in Liberia now.
Yes. We're learning. I mean, we're working together on it, and so far, it's for me. I feel that it's going to be okay because we on it. We have a team that working on it, but this is just a learning process for our people, like you said. Before you go to buy any property in Liberia, construction company or whatever, you make sure you investigate. You
Right.
make sure, yes, you make sure that it's legit, 100%. You have to cross all the T's and dot all the I's to make sure that you don't get robbed, you know, from our people, because we Liberian people, to tell you the truth, we are not honest with each other, you know. We we just like to rob each other. And this man, he's a foreigner. So if you allow him to come and do us, right now President Walker is encouraging us to go home. Oh, we should come home. We should contribute. We should do this and do that. But look at how much money some of us have lost. Do you think I would want to come home?
Hmm.
You know, do you think I would want to come home to a country where I can't even trust my own people?
Okay, one second, says Gladys. Catherine, Now I think we call this spilled milk, right? The milk is spilled. So I'm wondering now. Maybe you can add before says Gladys respond. I mean, is the company still there? I know the owner of the company may have left, but if there's a registered business in Liberia with a physical address, is the business still open or the whole thing shut down and this guy has left and now is ghosted? If it is a ghost entity right now, my question is then who your lawyers talking to? Catherine, maybe come in before she answer.
You know, it's so funny because I saw the same advertisement for Millennium Properties, and I was so excited because it was supposed to have a police station, it was supposed to have a mall,
Mm-hmm.
shopping mall. It was supposed to have
Day,
schools.
a daycare.
It was supposed to have a daycare. It was supposed to have I think, a movie theater, right?
Supermarket. Yes.
Supermarket. It was supposed to be very nice, and I saw it, and then I saw on YouTube there was a lady who bought one of them, and she did, those. She walk around with the camera and show her house and her kitchen, and I said, "Oh wow, I want one of these. It's a good price." I think at the time I saw it was 30,000 for a two bedroom
The duplex.
duplex.
Mm-hmm.
You can get your own. You can either get a driveway or a pool or something. You can design it the way you want it. So I had the money. I said, I want one of these. I sent my old lady there. She ran me around. I'm going there tomorrow. I'm going next week. I'm going. So I kept saying, why you keep running me around? He said, I won't tell you the truth. I won't tell you the truth. I said, please tell me the truth because you keep running me around. You say you're going next week. You're going next week. You're going on a weekend. He said, let me tell you, government, when they change government, that's how she said it. When you get one government, you get one president, they will not honor the other president project. So if you get in this project, the next president will not honor this project. I don't know how this thing gonna go. Let's just build your own house on your own property because I don't know how this thing gonna go. I don't want to be involved when you giving money. Then you would say, "Oh, this happened." So she told me that, and I said, "Okay, fine. Let's just look for a place. I'll just build my own property." And when that thing blew up, Dr. Pearson, she just looks at me. She says, "You see?" And I told you, and I told you, So I saw that project. I used to drive by it all the time. They had a big billboard on the road,
Mm-hmm.
and you just thought it was gonna work out. Unfortunately, it did not for a lot of people. I'm glad at least you got your property and you know which ones is yours. There were some people,
They don't have anything.
they paid their money and it was not even, they never even got a property. They never even got a deed that somebody else said that was their house.
Oh yeah, they were fighting over their houses because Mr. Muhammad would take the same house and show it to about 5 different persons.
Mm-hmm. So
That's what
I'm
he
at
was
least
doing.
glad that you
You know.
got your property because you got it early and somebody was watching it, and so I'm glad that you at least got it. It's a shame, but what happened to him? Where is he?
He right there in Liberia. He's
Right.
there.
Okay. So, Liberian people, I'm not sure we've lost power in Liberia again. LEC in Liberia, they say like Christmas, like.
But these are some of the things that we're talking about. Government is government. Whether we want government to or the next government take over, that mentality that we Liberians have, we need to stop it. Okay? It's a when his name, when Joe Biden left and Donald Trump took over and the government still running, when it's the same way, or not the same where he changes stuff, but I'm trying, what I'm trying to say is it's supposed to go on because the company, the Millennium Company, was in collaboration with the Department of Housing Authority. So whoever took over should have made sure that the construction company were doing what they were supposed to do. They should have followed up with the construction company to make sure that those houses were completed. But we don't do our job. we get the jobs, and we just eat the money, you know, and forget that we have a job to do. And to me, and that's what happened. So we need to stop it. We Liberians, we need to be accountable and be dependable. Okay, if you say you're going to build whatever and the people give you their money, some people work hard for their money. Some people took their whole retirement money, you know, and invested it, you know. So what you expect them to do? They don't
All
have to.
right. Sisters Gladys, so what do we expect them to do? So when we come back, we discuss that before we close the show. What do we expect those of you who've been robbed? What can you all do about it? Then you let us know what you're already doing, and maybe we have a word or two to join. What can we do? But before we go there, we just want to say if you're listening to us and you view us, this is the LIB Future TV, and we are here to discuss matters pertaining to Liberia. Whether you're in the diaspora or you're in the homeland, we are on radio and KMTV. All right, it's KCM TV. All right, and we glad to be on your in your media space. I'm going to play you a song that buttress our whole vision behind our conversation. Just listen to this song, you enjoy it, Sister Gladys.
Okay,
The
no
people
problem.
are ready. We know who we are. Farmers, students, workers stand, building a future for our land. No more empty promises, no more delay. The time for progress is today. Alex coming.
Yeah, sure.
Liberia rising, hope and vision. The people deciding. Together we stand, together we win. A brighter tomorrow is about to begin. Jobs for the youth, roads to the towns, education lifting the nation up now. Healthcare, farming, opportunity, working together in unity. From Lofa to Maryland, Nimba to Grange Day, the voices are rising across the land today. Alex coming, Liberia rising. Alex coming, the people deciding. Forward Liberia.
So there you have it, Alice Cummings for a better Liberia for tomorrow. The people are rising. We want to see some things happen. We are not pleased with what we see in our country. We want to have a better leadership for tomorrow. And we believe Mr. Cummings is able to provide us that leadership. So now we have had this conversation about the land rights. We talked about what is in the land rights. We talked about some of the things that has to be done to improve on how we effect that law. And we talked about this whole Millennium Construction property issue in Liberia. Give me your money. I gave you brand new house. You ain't got to go depend on family member to eat your money or anything like that. The house will be shining. Shining. Just a red palm oil when you rub red on red palm oil, it will be shining.
That's what I do. And you just walk in where you're, legit.
So Gladys, tell us now, how you trying to get the property back? Tell us.
Oh well, working on that. I'm working on my house. I pay for it, so I might as well complete it. I can't allow them to have it, and whatever it takes. Yes, it's mine. I pay for it. The third one, God's willing, when I go back to Liberia, I know where it is, so I'm going to go and finish it up. The other duplex, and that's what you got to do. You got to do what you have to do.
I know you got to do what you have to do. So, Catherine, so what is your advice to other Liberians? You almost got robbed too. So, what's your advice to your fellow Liberians and those of us in the diaspora as well?
I think my advice is to vote for Mr. Cummings because the system as it is right now is broken. The real estate system is broken because right now, if someone wants to buy property in Liberia, you're taking a chance. You are taking a chance if you don't know the person who you're buying it from, and you don't know their family, or you don't know about their background, or you don't know the history of the area. You're taking a chance right now buying property. That money you could go and waste. So you have to be very careful about buying property. I myself am a lawyer, and I have tried to hire at least 4 lawyers in Liberia. Nothing. I'm so confused about the profession, the law profession in Liberia. You hire the lawyer, you talk to them, you tell them what the issue is, you don't hear from them again. We cannot do that in the US. They will call the Georgia bar, the New York bar, quick. And the bar will have you on the phone saying there's someone calling saying that you're not calling them back. And they can take your license away for that. But I myself have had issues on my father's property, and I've contacted lawyer after lawyer. People refer me to a lawyer, not getting anywhere. So the system is broken. People in the real estate buying property is very hard. I heard what you said, what Representative Sumo said. What's his name? Sumo? That's exactly it. It has to be done. You have to have technology to store the deeds. But again, you need management, administration to manage that process.
Right.
You need to have someone who knows how to organize, how to buy the equipment, because you need network storage. You need the computers. You need to train the people, teach them how to do it.
Yes.
You have to have that done in every county. You have to have enough electricity, enough, and you have to have a place where a safe place where to store it so no one steals the equipment. So you need someone who knows how to manage that entire process, but you can bring a lot of jobs to Liberia. Because imagine if you have someone, you have to hire a certain amount of people to scan all those documents. Then you have to do that too for the business. Then you have to do that for the taxes. So you can make a lot of jobs just on this real estate, bringing technology to the country and training people. But again, you need someone who knows how to manage that. That's why we are supporting Mr. Cummings, because we know he can manage that process and hire the people and train the people and get it done. So that you want people to come to the country. There's a lot of going back to that constitutional issue. There's a lot of Liberians that live around the world. They would love to come back to Liberia, but they find it hard to do that because it's hard to buy property. Who do you reach out to buy property for you? You're not sure if that person's going to take your money. So all of those things, I think my advice to people would say, if you're buying property, buy from somebody and do your research about who owns the property, how long they've owned it. Talk to the people around the community. They also know things too. And make a change in 2029.
Make a change in 2029. If you're just viewing us, we are the LIB Future TV, and we are broadcasting on all of our social networks and on Kia Radio in Liberia, 95.9. And today we're discussing land rights in Liberia. We are discussing not just the land right issues in Liberia, we're discussing how the Land Rights Act, what does it have in there? How is it being implemented? Then we'll also discuss the issues that have to do with Millennium Corporation and their properties in Liberia, how people are getting robbed. They're paying for properties because they don't want to trust their money into family and friends who will not build a property. But then you find that someone is contracting you to give you this property, but at the end of the day, the Liberian men say they eat your eye. They eat your eye. But again, yeah, they eat your eye. So I want to go down this route before we close. We should be closing in the next 25 minutes. I'm not sure if Jefferson, our producer Jefferson, is in the back there.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So Jefferson, if you care, I know there are people. I'm not saying it's being like bread. The time there, I will be listening to someone on the radio because no sleep in my eye. You know, somebody might be listening to us since 12 o'clock last night. Now is around 11, 12, and now it's almost 1 o'clock. They're saying about they probably open the line. Yep, talk some other thing here too. So as we come almost to the close of the show, if somebody want to talk, if you receive any call, look, you can bring them through, okay? We'll give them a chance. So just call the numbers just in case so they don't feel bad.
Yeah, so fellow Liberians, you're listening to LRB Future TV right here on 95.9 KR Radio. To be a part of the conversation this morning, you can call 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 0881 871 670 0881 871 670 plus 231 777 959 959 are the numbers you can use tonight or this morning to be a part of the conversation we're discussing land matter in Liberia and other related land issues as well. What contributions do you have to make if you want to contribute, or perhaps you've had an experience of the topic under discussion and you want to weigh in? You can call 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 0881 871 670 plus 231 777 959 959. We're here. Once your call comes through, we'll put you through. Dr. Pearson?
Thank you, Jefferson. And that watchman are sleeping now. Let that watchman wake up. That watchman are sleeping around 1 o'clock in the morning. At the time the road thing be coming to the house and to the store and to come pause it. Tell that watchman to wake up. But in the meantime, we're waking up with the music. Then my Rastaman music for Eddie's coming.
A better future for our land. Alex Dunn, Liberia rising, hope and vision, the people deciding, forward Liberia, hand in hand, a better future for our land.
Alice Cummings for a better future, a better Liberia. So listen, we're about to bring this thing home. So my son can go get some rest. I know I know you sort of sleep in the studio, but so now when the song you play when you cue from 1 to 50. When you cue from 1 to 50, then you just start praying. You get not sleeping now, you just be praying while the song playing. You just be praying. Silent prayer, no talking, just silent prayer. But before we go there, let us just summarize our conversation today. We talk about the land rights act in Liberia. Look, I think it will do us good that if we educate the people on the land rights act. I know we've done some in the past before, but you know sometimes these things call for money, and majority of the time in Liberia, when we want to do anything that will have to do with the population, they gotta be government getting NGO money or foreign money before they can do anything. They won't spend the country money. They want aid first. Whether they want to do education or awareness, or they gotta come from foreign donor. But I think our government should put money, especially the increasing land issues in Liberia, to educate our people on the Land Rights Act in Liberia. The Land Rights Act recognizes customary land. and make sure that the traditional people who got the land that they didn't have deed before because of traditional land, they can codify that land, they can give it some legal status, and they are able to go and probate the land and get the probate the deed, everything, and just archive it to make it safe from the rural area level. And then not only that, but they do have what they call the government land, the customary land, the public land. Now, our people don't even know the danger in just going to buy land without getting the proper steps in order. Let us educate the people as much as we can. The different components of the law that has to do with how women rights over land is protected, youth right over land is protected, digitizing the land in terms of its archiving for verification and for proper tracking. These are all good things in the act, and not only in the act alone, but in the strategic plan of the land authority, which is the 2025 to 2029 strategic plan. We pray that it can bring all of these things into action to ensure that our people are protected. Now, I know somebody will say, but the way you're talking about the whole millennium thing, that only crooked people do nothing, or they get corrupt people doing our business too. Jefferson, are there correct people, legitimate people doing our business too? I saw one video with somebody else doing it, and the guy said he's doing well. I saw people praising him.
Yes, they have some legitimate people who are doing it. Once you go through the um, requirements, especially I know one content creator, Emil. Yeah, he once he put a property for sale, you can rest assured that indeed you're buying from you buy from the rightful owner. That is for real.
Right. So yeah, I saw another video, another content creator from my own neighborhood at the ELW Junction area there, the Kotu, George Kotu, and he was interviewing another. I saw it for them, sis Agnes, sis Gladys. What they do is that this other group, they are not going to give you the property unfinished, right? Before you pay your money, you will see the property to a certain level. I mean, I think 90 or so percent before, and you don't have to pay all the money down. You don't have to pay nothing down. You just have to engage the property. That's all. You engage the property. When the property is complete, when you go to get your keys, you must have finished paying the money.
Yeah, but that's what happened when I went. When I gave the money, when we gave the money the first time, they showed me when they dug the foundation and everything. Then I sent Jocelyn over there. They had carried it halfway. Then when I went over there, I was there. I was in Liberia for 2 months. I went to the place. I kept on going over there. That's how come I knew where my property was because I kept visiting there. You know, the third property was the one when I asked her about it. That's when she said, "Oh, um, it's back there," so I could remember where it was. And when she finally took me there, uh, one thing about me when it comes to landmarks, I'm really good at that. And that's how come I really recognize where the third duplex is, you know. But thank God I was able to go to Liberia, you know, and go and visit the property a couple of times, you know. That's how come I knew where my property was. But what's about the other people who had not been there, you know, who had paid their money, they had not, you know, traveled to the country to see how far the property had, Millennia had carried the property. They didn't know. I know. I mean, there were people who put a whole container on the ship and got there because they said their deadline was going to be a certain time, and when they got there, they didn't have anything. So whatever happened, it really did us wrong, and I think there should be some kind of accountability. You know, that's just me. But when you talk to the Liberian people or that Liberian way, no, that's not the Liberian way. People work hard. They think that we here in America, we just got a tree in the back of the yard where we just go and pick the money from off of the tree. They don't know how hard we have to work for our money, you know. So when we take our money, hard-earned money and invest it, to have somewhere legit to stay. Because when you go to Liberia, don't get me wrong, you don't mind living with family. But if you go stay for 1 or 2 months when you look at family, then while you're there, you still gotta be giving them money to buy food, to do this and do that and do the other, and that's not right either. I mean, you there, yes, you can pay, but sometimes you won't be comfortable. Sometimes it's nothing like your own, you know. So I really, it really made me discouraged. It really, really made me discouraged.
Don't feel discouraged, man. So let me say this: if you're viewing us, this is the Liberia, the LIB feature TV, and we are live on all social media pages. And we are also airing on Care Radio FM 95.9. And tonight we'll be in discussion with Sis Gladys. Is it Touquet?
Target.
I was joined today by Catherine Gibson, one of my own sister and Esquire, a strong supporter of Mr. Cummings and the brain behind this whole project. And then our producer, Jefferson, we are in Liberia. I want to say this, look, we wouldn't mind if you're in the diaspora and you begin to see the momentum picking up with LIB Feature TV and you want to advertise with us, contact us, shoot us something in our inboxes from one of our social media pages, or I'll refer to one of our numbers on the screen there. Contact us and tell us what your business in the diaspora is about. And then we can do a quick ad for you, interact with you, and then we'll play on our show with the hope that we can promote our own Liberian businesses. Trust me, it's not going to be free because it's not going to be rap like Nigerian men in Liberia. It's not going to be free, but it's not going to be something you cannot afford because who knows, through those little advertisement with direct traffic to you in your little business that you're doing tax seasons here in the US, if you can do taxes, of course, we can promote you. And then we can put your contact up there for Liberians who are looking for someone to do the taxes. If you get some Liberian food businesses, you can still let to eat like me, palm butter, cassava leaf, cow tail, cow skin. Contact. We can promote your Liberian store. Let Liberian know what you got out there. Even though Jefferson will not taste it because he's way in Liberia, but Jefferson got more access than you. And I keep saying that gap, that particular watchman down there, that watchman sleeping in Jefferson, seriously. That guy sleeping. Yeah, that guy sleeping. I know he tuned the radio, everything doing, but the man sleeping. The guy sleeping. So, before we close, I will take a closing parting statement from all of us before we close. But again, let me say this. I will go to Catherine after Catherine speak. I will play this song again. Catherine, take your time. Tell me why somebody in Liberia should consider Mr. Cummings as a serious person who wants to help Liberia. Tell me, because I know your passion for Mr. Cummings is very strong. Tell me about that.
The reason why I think people should consider Mr. Cummings is because of jobs. I talk to so many young people in Liberia, students, people who are middle-aged, smart people, talented people, people who have a talent and a gift but can't afford to go to school, people who have gone to school, who have studied at night without electricity, on candlelight, passed their exams, have their graduation, have their celebration, and they don't have a job waiting for them. And that to me is a shame. It's a shame. I think it's a failure of the government to not have jobs for people. Because what ends up happening when you don't have a job and you don't have money, you start looking for ways to hustle. And sometimes you can make it, sometimes you can't make it. Then you have to call people and ask, make up stories. Sometimes you get these stories, people calling saying this happened, that happened. It's not true, but they just need money. Representatives are complaining. Oh, they call me for this, they call me for that, they call me for this, they call me for that. They wouldn't call if they had a job. So that is why I think Mr. Cummings is the best alternative, because he can bring jobs. Look, this man worked as a Fortune 500 vice president of a multi-billion-dollar company. Those type of peoples, they know people. They are in the room with other CEOs of their level. So he automatically comes with the relationships. But not only that, he has explained the type of jobs he's going to bring. So get ready. If you have land, Mr. Cummings said he's going to bring agriculture. Right now, the government is not spending enough money in the budget on agriculture, growing our own food. You see, with this Iran war that's happening, all the prices are going up because we import everything that we use in Liberia. They were talking about the Ministry of Commerce. The goods that are coming in the country are substandard, they're poor quality. Mr. Cummings said we're going to shift the budget so that we can have more agriculture, we can grow more food, we can have more poultry in Liberia. He talked about technology jobs. We just talked about that tonight, scanning the deeds. That will go for the business records, the hospital records. So people will have jobs in technology and computers, networking. He also talked about microloans for market women. He talked about giving loans to Liberians so that they can implement the Liberianization policy. And he talked about having mortgages for housing. So this type of thing, if Sis Gladys, instead of having her own money, giving it to somebody like, I forgot his name,
Muhammad.
the bank would have she would have a loan with the bank, and the bank will send an inspector to that house. If that house is halfway to the window level, they will give him money. When the house goes up to roof level, they will give him money. When the roof go on the house, they will give him money. When the kitchen gets put in, they will give him money. He will have to do the work first before the bank release money to him. And then Sis Gladys will be paying the bank. And Mr. Cummings talk about mortgages so that we can build more housing, affordable housing for Liberians. So he talk about $300 to $400 for civil servant workers, paying people more money because right now they cannot live off of what they make, $100, $150 a month. That's they can't live off of that, And so these are the reasons why there's so much drugs in the country. That's the reason why there's crime in the country. It's a shame that in Liberia, I drive around, people's fences are higher than their rooftop. You can't even see the house. Because why? They're afraid of crime. They're afraid somebody's going to come in there and steal something out of their house. So jobs is a real problem in Liberia. And that's why I support Mr. Cummings, because he says he's going to bring 600,000 jobs in agriculture, technology, and housing. Going to enforce the Liberianization policy. He's going to give microloans to the market women. So Liberians don't have to be spectator in their own country. The last part was tourism. So he's going to bring tourism. So I'm hoping to see that airport redone. Dr. Pearson, oh my God, I can't wait to see that airport redone. The airport, have it better functioning. I go to Singapore, they have rainforests in their airport, movie theaters in their airport. I mean, go to Liberia, you gotta get on that bus, they gotta drive you to the
coming from Ward, Cat. Coming from Ward.
No, but it's been 20 years now.
It's
been 20 years.
So tear down though.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was there. Her son was at the bank. What was he doing there? I mean, that's excuses. Liberia has money. Liberians have gold, rubber, diamonds. Liberia is a rich country, and they can afford to spend the money on the country and on the people.
Right. So. Thank you. You couldn't have put it much better. So I'll play this my beautiful song again one more time. When I come back, Sis Gladys, you give us your parting statement, yeah?
All right.
Yeah, when I come back after the song, you give us your parting statement, yeah?
Okay.
Give us a parting statement.
Or I should give my parting statement.
Yeah.
Well, what should I say though? Well, I don't think you have to be a leader in order for you to bring development or to bring jobs into your country. I think if you are about your country, then do what you have to do right now. I don't think that's just me. That's just my opinion. Um, I think that it takes us Liberians to put Liberia to be Liberians first. Once we have that in mind, then all of us can contribute to the development of our country. And whoever sits in um sits in office, we can help them to take the country to another level. Um, yes, I am. I supported Alexander Cummings for the last election. I one of those I voted for him. Yeah, in the United States. But I think he needs to start working now. He shouldn't wait until he gets elected as president for Liberia before he can do what he needs to do. I think if he starts now, by the time 2029 comes, then we can see what he has done, and then we can say, okay, he did so and so. We will have something, some kind of record to say, you know what, this is the contribution he made. This is what he did. This is what he did. And then if he wins, he can continue to do what he already had put in place. That's my final statement. I know I supported him. He knows that here in Chicago. But right now, I think we all of us need to start working together to bring jobs. Also, I think we need to invest in private companies you know need to help. The kids are there. We depend on government for everything. But I think it takes us, we who have the opportunity or who have money, we can help our country to be the best. That's just my opinion.
We can help our country to be the best. Look, let me tell you something. Mr. Cummings will love what he just said. He is the leader who listens, and not only that, but he pays attention to what people have to say for the good of the country. So I can assure you that he heard you, that things has to be done now and not waiting to be in the presidency first, right? So I can assure you that there are projects in the pipeline that Catherine and I will be getting to you about to be a part of that process, so we can get Liberia to where we wanted to be as pilot projects that will promote our country and make it better for tomorrow. But this is what I would say, right? At the same time, Liberia is a country that is designed in a way that the bulk of the power rests in the presidency. And if the president of the Republic of Liberia, some things you won't do, they can strangle you and hold you down, and you can get nothing done. So in as much as we'll be doing some work on the ground towards 2029, we want you all to know that Mr. Cummings must be trusted, and that what he is doing is just not charity. It's an opportunity for him to show the Liberian people his concern and his love for the country. He's been doing it for over 18 years now, showing it to the people, and he will continue to show it to convince them that he loves them, not because of what he wants from them, but because of what he wants to give back onto them. So thank you for tonight. And also thank you to Catherine for being on the show tonight. It was a pleasure, sis Gladys. It was a pleasure, Catherine. And I want to say to the Liberian people who listen to us through the night, now to the morning, that watchman still sleeping. That watchman in our brother still sleeping, but no problem. But yeah, it was a beautiful show. I want to say have a blessed night. If you're still up in Liberia and you've been viewing, look, check your doors again. Double check that doors. Double check that windows before you go to bed. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Bless you in Liberia. Mama Liberia, come first. And God bless Liberia. Have a beautiful night. And God bless you all. Catherine, you have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Hey, Liberia, stand up!
Kathy. My cousin, I can't call her. Kathy.
Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.